Greetings in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. I'm Andres Vorgan. I'm here with Ed and Fred, and we're going to be reading the May 11th, 2024 session of the LL Research Channelings. All right, I'll start.
Ooh, I like you.
I am Kuo, and we greet each of you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator, of which we are all a part, an integral part. For the creator is all things. Without you, the creator would not be the total creator. This in itself is already an important message right here. ChatGPT considers like even this of which we are all a part, this is the law of one in part of a sentence.
Yeah, totally, man. That's an awesome sentence right there.
Yeah. And then an integral part for the creator is all things. Like this is the law of one summed up in a sentence. Without you, the creator.
And then the whole without you, the creator would not be the total creator is what makes it personal.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful sentence, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. They are really awesome. We see today that there are many, many open hearts within this circle. In fact, each heart is open to us. And thus we feel the great honor of speaking to whatever these hearts have to ask of us in the way of those questions which are within your spiritual path and which offer you a chance to accelerate that path in the love and light of the one creator. We would suggest to you that as we are answering your queries, that we have only the opinions to offer that are ours, and we offer them freely so that they are not infallible. So we suggest that you weigh them carefully before you accept them. Leave behind any that are not acceptable. In this way, we feel that we may speak in a more open and expansive fashion to your queries, and perhaps serve you better as you serve us by thinking of the fallibility that is possible within the answers. At this time, we would ask if there is a query with which we may begin.
Hey, wait a sec. Did Quo just say, yeah, we could be talking bollocks? See if you can find the bits I'm talking bollocks for.
Yes, they always say that. They're not infallible.
The bit at the end where he's like, serve us by thinking of the infallibility.
You better as you serve us by thinking of the fallibility that is possible within the answer. Yeah,
exactly.
Think about how it could
really
be wrong.
Think about the answers.
Yeah, think about how what they're saying could be wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, because they don't want you to accept it as dogma. They don't want to infringe on your...
Of course not. I know that, dude. But I'm just saying, is he saying, watch out, because I'm going to try and chuck some little red herrings in or something?
No.
They don't normally say that. They don't normally say, think about how he could be wrong.
Well, I think
that's not a normal thing they say.
I think
if
that
it resonates,
I'm familiar with the culture of the LL Research channelers, and they have this tendency, not intentionally, sometimes, not just the channelers, but like the whole community of people that read this stuff, sometimes they take it very dogmatically. They're like, the Confederation says it, that's the final word. And they're seeing this from above, and they're like, hey, these people are taking this too seriously. We got to remind them that they can serve us by thinking of the fallibility that is possible within the answers. Okay, that will help them be more.
So do you guys think that because Quo is like multiple entities, multiple densities, it all runs through that way as a kind of talking thing? Do you think that kind of like Ra is more accurate because of that fact?
No. Well,
I do.
You do. Okay.
Because I think that Quo always gives the same answers, but he does it in a very, very flowery, very pretty, and very drawn out way. Whereas Ra gave the answer in one sentence and left you to do the thinking.
But his answers weren't always correct either.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of his timeline stuff. I mean, like, they have a unique understanding of reality that makes sense from their point of view.
And mine.
Okay, but for example, take they built the pyramids, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that from their perspective, they're telling the truth.
Mm.
They built the pyramids, they designed it in their minds,
Yeah.
and then they saw it appear.
Yeah.
But when they describe it, they said that there was 1,500 years of pyramid building after it. But
Right.
in our reality, where we are in physical space-time, it was the other way around. There was 1,500 years of pyramid building before the Great Pyramid, and the Great Pyramid was one of the last pyramids ever built.
I'm not sure about that, dude, because they don't actually know when it was built.
Well, I am, because I have done the research.
But they don't know. No one knows.
We do know.
No, they don't.
Okay, well, see, you're going by faith here. Okay, I'm going by
No,
what
I'm not
history.
going by what Ross said. I'm going back right now. There's huge scientific debate whether the Egyptians had anything to do with building the pyramids.
Okay, well,
At all.
I'm talking about what is generally accepted.
Okay, but what's generally accepted has been proven wrong all over the place.
Okay, all right. I don't want to be in a debate about this.
Okay, dude, I'm just saying.
Okay,
right?
I am just saying that they
don't
have a
see any
unique
issue with what Ross
perspective
said.
that
And
may
according to the
diverge.
general,
That may diverge from consensus reality in space-time.
But I'm saying that consensus reality in space-time, is been led by false experiments, as science right now is caught up, does more, knows more, and they are saying outright a lot more shit was built pre-dynastically than during the dynastic period of Egypt.
Okay. So are you right now serving them by thinking of the fallibility that is possible in their answers?
Not, I'm thinking about Quo's answers, but not Ra's.
No, it's the same with Ra. Ra is not infallible either.
But he doesn't go on about how he's fallible.
He didn't have very much time to talk. Also, you have
that's what it is.
There's a difference because he talked very slowly. Have you heard the actual channel?
Yeah, I know he did. Conscious channeling, trance channeling, different things.
It was very very slow. And the trance channeling is what gives you the more accurate answers. It's not because it's
100%. That's what I'm talking about, how Ra is more accurate.
Okay, I'm not going to debate this. It's not worth it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
sorry.
cool.
I wasn't trying to start a debate. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I trust Ra.
I would like to ask about the wonderful display of lights we experienced last night. Our scientists and our weathermen tell us that this was a coronal mass ejection from the sun, producing electromagnetic frequency disturbance and disrupting our communication, and so on and so on. Students of the Law of One, however, might wonder, as I wonder, was this a message from our logos, a communication to our planet? Was there any spiritual significance of this event last night? I am Kuo, and am aware of your query, my brother. You asked a query which is very interesting, and not only to spiritual seekers, but to us as well. For our sun, as you call it, the sun that shines upon you as you move into the daylight and go through your daily round of activities, is an entity of the logoic variety, which contains within it all of the densities of the creation through which each of you moves back into the unity of the one creator, and through the logos of love do so. These events of which you speak are of the periodic nature and are truly of spiritual nature as well. There are rhythms of being that the logos, the sublogos, and all of its children have as a path to follow, that has an opportunity of being accelerated upon the spiritual level. When one feels the energies of these sunspots being able to move through time and space in relatively zero time, so that they reach the spirit of each seeking soul, each seeking spirit, and enlighten that spirit, that soul that seeks to know more of who it is and why it is within this illusion that you call the third density. This type of enlivening has as its purpose the magnification of the desire, the faith, the will to seek more assiduously, more powerfully, more continuously for those answers that the soul has, as what might be cannot, we correct this instrument as what might be called pre-incarnated choice, as well as free will choice, made within the incarnation that tend to expand in the natures of one's being more and more as the seeking is practiced and the answers are found. As you move further and further within your own being for these answers, this type of solar flare can accelerate that penetration of the mystery of the third density illusion, the mystery of yourself, who you are, how you are, and why you are. This is the great journey. And these types of solar experiences are periodic, as gifts, you might say. You have what you call Christmas time, the birthday time, where gifts are offered periodically. This is a great gift both of your birth and of a greater being, and that type of being which has as its goal the unification with all other beings around it. And also, with the one inquiry, we correct this instrument with the one creator within each being and the creator that exists with all the creation. This is the great journey with the periodic accelerations that you have experienced this previous night. Okay.
Okay, so like for me, yeah, that was one of those answers where it's like, yeah, this stuff happened, but it happened to inspire you.
It happened what?
Like to inspire you to
yes.
to like make the mysteries apparent and make you think, oh wow, look at this beautiful thing. I hope there's God.
Yes.
I like how they word it as a periodic gift, like Christmas time or birthday, because they in the I don't know what to call it, and I don't want to offend people, but in the more fringe spiritual communities, you see a lot of emphasis.
What are you chatting about? Okay. I've been to all of them. What are you chatting about?
You can point to anyone. I'm not going to say anyone specific, but I know in certain communities, a lot of times people get very, very excited at certain times when certain things happen, whether it's astronomical, astrological, solar flares, blah, 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 whatever. But we all know that during these energetic exchanges, whether it's alignments of planets or something being in retrograde or, in this case, solar flares, I think what's happening actually physically and energetically is allowing us, especially if you're in certain alignments with vibrations, frequencies, whatever you want to attune it to, when you're in alignment with certain things and you're trying to do certain types of work, things are more accessible and more easily able to be done at certain times than in others. Just like we know when the planets are in certain alignments, it's easier to make certain radio transmissions than it is at other times. We found this out the hard way in World War II. So that's kind of basically what it seems like they're describing. Only on an etheric level, where the Logos, being an entity in and of itself, the sun, is sending out these flares and everything, allowing us to kind of maybe more easily do work with the veil a little bit torn than at other times. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Kind of does, dude. I mean, I agree with it. That he's trying to say that kind of the the Logos giving us this gift of accelerating the spiritual growth thing, kind of like it kind of supercharges everybody so that you get more kind of like, because loads of things do that, like Saturn in retrograde is like that period where essentially everyone has to fucking look at what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? And then these solar flares are only going to get worse. They reckon we're going to have a good few years of them. So it's not going to be the only time you see auroras. There's going to be quite a few.
I really refrain from referring to solar flares as bad or negative, because I see people do that.
The only issue is that they can cause like an EMP kind of like effect, which would suck.
That's not negative in my opinion.
No, hell no, man. The way I live, I wouldn't even notice.
The only thing that sucks is I wouldn't get to talk to you guys.
That would suck, dude. But I can make free electric. And don't be shit to me. Earth battery, man. Copper fucking iron.
You
copper
get
iron,
almost
copper
no
iron.
electricity that way, though.
Huh?
I said you get almost no electricity that way, though, with the Earth battery.
It depends how you do it, man. There's loads of different ways of compartmentalizing it, so you end up with a far, far, far quicker amount of flow. If you do it in like one of those little seed trays, yeah, you can get like 12 volts out of one seed tray, dude. Seriously.
Okay, well, I'd like to see you do that.
Oh, dude, go on YouTube. Easy.
YouTube has a lot of false videos. Okay.
Okay, well,
So,
I saw a
got
guy
it done for
literally
life.
make it and then put it up to like ampermeter. That's what it said. Yeah. Seems pretty
Okay.
basic.
So, our message from the logos, our sun, an entity of logo of all the densities. Okay. Anyways, so I don't think they had any real answer for this one. Let's move on to the next one. What do you guys
Can I
think?
just say, like, you know, when we had the eclipse?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for the 2 weeks before that, my life went bonkers, man. And then I kept seeing things on Facebook and that, memes and things about how like, yeah, it was like a ascension sickness or something they called it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the further along the path you were, the more it hit your life.
Wow.
And yeah, man, like I was like, what? Oh my god, it's all kind of fucking shit. It could be that. But it is one of those things that with when any astrology things, you kind of think, well, is it that or you know? And Fred, I assume that like the other groups you were talking about, like magic groups, and you know, when you do spells, you're supposed to do them in specific like astrological times. You know, it's a big thing in alchemy, man.
I'm not referring to that. I'm just referring to mostly just random people posting shit that they don't know what they're talking about. That's usually, you know what I mean. I just when I see people posting things about anything like that, and it's like, dude, you're not, you're misleading by misrepresenting what's actually happening and attributing it to something. I guess magic is different to different people. You know, 100 years ago, things we take for granted now, people would have thought were magic. You know, maybe I'm just being too bah humbug.
The main way you need to think about magic, yeah, is you change yourself to change the world.
Mm.
Yeah, and pretty much every single old magic book that I've ever read, and I've read a fuckload, they all basically say, they're basically like psychological textbooks. They are ways of training your mind to be different, and then once the mind's different, then your outward reality changes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can organize that by doing ritual. But it still comes down to doing the work in here, the same way Quote talks about, you know, meditate every day. You know, they're all the same things, man. It all links up. But when it comes to like alchemy and things like that, yeah, different plants and different metals and different things like that, they work differently at different times of the year. Different, what's it called? Astrological sequences. So, for example, there's certain plants that you need to pick at night under the moonlight or under Saturn or under Jupiter, and the chemical components in them are different to other times of the year, picking them during the day, picking them under Mars, for example. Because plants are actually really good at understanding resonance. Yeah, that's how they communicate, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't they have a better understanding of the climatic resonant energies coming from the planets that hit us? Because they do affect us, man. And it's all just climatics. There's no difference from a speaker playing. Yeah, we just can't hear the sound of Saturn hitting you. But it is. Oh, sorry, dude. Didn't mean to. You can interrupt, man. Just jump in.
I was just wondering if we could do the next.
Oh, okay. Sorry, man. Yeah, go. Sorry.
Okay. Throughout history, cultures have called to the sun. They have worshipped the sun. They have seen I'm thinking of ancient Egypt. I'm thinking of South America. A calling to the sun as one source of life, of spirituality, of caring. Was this anything like we experienced last night? Could we use this experience to magnify our connection to you and our connection to the Creator? I'm cool and I'm aware of your query, my brother. This is precisely correct. This experience was one which, as we have previously said, was something that is periodic in nature. It is a gift that may be given to those who seek such gifts, the realization of the nature of oneself, the purpose of one's journey, and the acceleration of that journey. So this is what you have described as the solar eclipse, the solar flare, the solar power that exists within each entity and can be magnified by the experience which were had the previous night. Okay. I'm just going to skip to the next one because I don't think there was really any content there. I have a question, Cool. Building on your previous answer regarding solar energy, I recently received information, and if this applies just to me specifically, then please just disregard this question. That the information was that this case, going through the biochemical changes related to fourth density transmissions, and that information, it occurred to me that it was not just specific to me, if that in fact is the case. Kuo, would you please comment on how these biochemical changes are manifest in our behaviors and our social constructs?
Fuck yeah. Good question.
I'm not even sure what that means.
I am. I
Okay.
really am.
What is it?
Oh God, I can't wait.
What does it mean?
Well, okay, so basically, we're going through a period where all of our different strands of DNA and shit's supposed to be activating. That's going to produce different proteins. That's going to produce different biochemicals. We're going to be using different minerals, using different things to actually fuel how our brains work. Yeah, those changes are happening right now.
We might actually figure out what our appendix is for.
Density.
Well, we know what it's for. It's for digesting fiber. And people on low fiber diets are the ones that get an inflamed appendix because it has no use, and then it gets so sad that it self-destructs. But if you eat salad on a regular basis, you shouldn't have any problem with your appendix.
Can I also just say that they found out that in later life, the appendix produces, it kind of takes over from the natural immune system in your what's it called, the limbic system. So you've only got a certain amount of time up to like you're 45 or something when you can actually process new bacteria, new antigens, new different things. After that point, you can't really add any more to it. Well, I only found out very recently that the appendix is another way of making a defense against microorganisms. So in the long term, when people who've had their appendix out are going to suffer more with illness as they get older because of the fact their immune system won't recover so quick. So I've had mine out, so I'm fucked.
Oh, well.
What about you guys?
Well, no, mine is fine because I eat salad.
I like salad. Salad's good.
Yeah. All right. So, I am cool, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. These, what you have called biophysical changes, are types of transformations that each entity is able to take advantage of when there is the desire within their heart and the mind to move in the more pure fashion on the journey of seeking and serving the one Creator and all beings around one. For this is a means by which the heart is further opened, and the mind is further expanded to balance the love of the heart with the wisdom of the mind as it moves further and further into the mystery of one's being. These biophysical changes are, shall we say, symbolic representations of the greater nature of your being, as you open the universe around you that is manifested by those that you meet in your daily round of activities. And as you meet them and feel their presence, you love them with unconditional love, that which simply gives by your being. And if there is that opportunity to actually manifest that love in a physical, mental, emotional sense or in any other way, then that service is the manifestation of such biophysical changes. These changes are a part of every spiritual seeker's journey as it moves more and more into unity with the one Creator, symbolized by those around you, so that they are now moving into the transformative phase of your life experience, that you will become what you could see as larger in your spiritual grasp of the purpose of your life experience. This is the way that your changes may be expressed within your being, like seeds within the spiritual desire of the faith, the will that you experience and express in your daily round of activities. Is there a follow-up query? Yes, thank you. These changes that can occur, it sounds as if it's a process, not a willful process, but the conditions that are existing throughout this process. If that's correct, does this affect your chemical, genomic, DNA conditions? I'm cool and I'm aware of your query, my sister. This is indeed the case, for as your mind, your body, and your spirit change, the changes are enhanced by your opening to them, seeking them, and using them, the biophysical changes that you have mentioned, as a means of accelerating and seeking the change, the manifesting, the expanding, and the making more personal, the powerful, your own journey, and seeking both within yourself for more meaning of who you are, and without yourself for more meaning of how that you is expressing itself in the world around you. Thus, you could say that your DNA is being multiplied in a fashion which gives you more opportunities for transformation. You are becoming, through your own faith and will, a greater being that has the opportunity to share the love and light of the Creator more fully and freely with those about you. All right, so that's the complete.
I would have about 30 follow-up questions, dude. That tells you nothing.
Yeah, that's my
I
There's
reckon
random
red herring
content.
answer, dude.
I don't know.
And I'll tell you exactly what it tells you.
Okay,
It tells you that being more and more your authentic self actually physically is changing your DNA slowly.
Okay, like I kind
That's
of
a
get that
good
part,
one.
but if you look at it, I reckon what he's saying is, yeah, get into loads of orgies and shit, because that will, like, you know, teach you life experience, and then you feel close to Creator. Because it says in there, the way that you get all this stuff is seeing other people. If you can get close to them emotionally, physical, with your penis, then you get life experience. Just saying, that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, I think that.
I mean, it's worth an experimental shot, right?
Look, I've said this a lot of times, man. I think Quo's like well up there saying, yeah, just all fuck each other, do it, man. Just saying.
Okay.
Not the first time I've said this.
So biophysical changes in response to force density and okay. Types of transformation each entity is able to take advantage of to move to a more pure fashion and seeking the serving one Creator. Okay, you are moving into a transformation phase. You will become larger in your spiritual grasp of the purpose of your life. As we undergo this transfer, our spiritual understanding and purpose expand. Your DNA is being multiplied in a fashion which gives you more opportunities for transformation. I mean, that's what you guys were just talking about. It's being multiplied. That means, you know, you're having children.
Yeah.
And through your own faith and will, you are becoming a greater being to share the love and light of the Creator more fully and freely with those about you.
Can I just say, it didn't actually mention anything about any biochemical changes. Didn't actually mention anything about how to activate it or whatever else. What it said is,
because that would be service to
follow
self.
the law of one. Love everybody.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes. Because
open your heart chakra, and then it'll all just happen.
Yes, I think that because there's a danger of like if you use it, like a lot of these things, you could use them in a service to self way.
Of course.
And so they're really insisting, do the service to others thing. Anything you do has to be of service to others. You know,
100%, man. But that's the way to get these biochemical changes to happen. They gave no details about the biochemical changes, though.
Yeah, they don't actually mention them because you know what? Like, what evidence do we have that anything is happening?
They need to get me in there, dude. Because remember what that Yom said? Yeah, he was like, he needs a scientifically trained channel. Because they can't give the concepts that they need to give to someone who doesn't understand those concepts.
Yeah, you know, it would be great, like, if I was there, you know, chatted with these people for like a few days.
Yeah, you'd be great, dude.
And
you'd
I
be
could
great.
get them up
Why
to
don't you
speed
channel
about what's actually happening. Like,
yeah.
You know, That would be so
I'd love to
great.
stand there and moderate the questions, but like, no, that was a rubbish answer. Go again.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Because I think it's just, I don't know. I think they need help. Like they have issues. They have issues. Um, they need more love in their lives.
Well, I have to say, there's so many times when I just wanted to reach into the book and punch Don in the head because it was just so stupid. No, dude, come on, you don't stop the question. Ah,
yeah. I hear you.
And also, too, when he asked brilliant questions and he put himself down for it and apologized.
Yeah, what's that about? Like, no, keep going. Go deeper, dude. That was a great question.
Yeah, really.
Mhm.
He asked a lot of even, in thinking about it, when you look at the last couple of sessions, I think it was in the
Cat one was
90s
bonkers.
with the cat. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Actually thinking about that session, I now think that is, at least for a personal aspect of the material that was presented, it was a very good session because it does a session like that does something. And you see this with TV shows and with books and with movies and anything like that, where you'll have like an episode or a chapter that's just two characters trying to solve a simple problem. Like in Breaking Bad, they had an episode that was about chasing a fly out of the lab. The whole episode was about this fly. But
Okay, dude, are you talking about like the whole idea of like the people in a lift?
But listen to the logic of it though. In doing that, they're trying to simply make their cat feel better. Is really all they were doing. They were concerned for their pet cat. But in that, you saw the interaction in the personal, the personal, whatever the emotional attributes of the different characters that were doing this whole channeling operation. You're seeing an aspect of them that is relatable to pretty much almost anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me of the biblical commentary or the biblical lectures of Jordan Peterson that I was reading recently. And he was talking about how the Old Testament, like he was going over the book of Genesis, and it's all extremely real. He called them real people, but like they were very flawed. They were deeply flawed individuals. All of them were very deeply flawed individuals, all the way from Adam, through Cain and Abraham and Jacob. Like they were all they were treacherous, they were lying, they were killing, they were backstabbing, and yet God was still merciful to them. And so like the mercy in the Old Testament is that he managed to forgive them for all of their huge transgressions, and the first character in Genesis that was actually a decent human being was Joseph, and he was the Pharaoh's advisor.
Yeah, he didn't have the best of lives, did he?
I mean, but you know what? He made the best of anything that was given to him. No matter how bad the situation was given to him, he made the best of it.
Same with Job.
Well, yeah, Job, poor old Job, dude. That guy.
Well, Job wasn't in Genesis, so also, I have some questions about Job, but that cannot be answered.
That's actually the oldest biblical book.
Job, according to who, though?
If you don't include Enoch,
according to the timelines that they were actually written down.
Hold on a second. Let's see about this.
Challenging Andre on biblical knowledge. This is like, whoa, dude, something you don't know? I'm shocked, man. Come on. As if you know everything. Come on, you're a Bible guy, dude.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I've read the whole Bible.
Really? I read it twice.
I like this.
Yeah, well, it's just like it's so like I may have listened to it, but it's just
I listen to everything. I don't ever
dense.
read anything.
It's
I'm dyslexic.
hard to say that I've grasped everything that's in it.
Well, the first time I went for it, it was when I was a kid. Yeah. And that was like basically one of the things that kind of got me out, kind of. Because I saw the scientific inaccuracy. I saw everyone being dickheads to each other. Like you said, like pretty much everyone's like does something horrible. And then then I started getting science and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I had lots of reasons to kind of leave it behind. The second time I read it was after the first time I read Ra. And mate, it's a different book. Completely different. You see all the little bits hidden in it, that are the law of one. Everywhere you go. And they're all like one of the best things to do is just read the book of Psalms, but read it like a spell book. It's amazing. Or the other one is just go through and find all the things Jesus said that begin with I am. They're literally the best mantras ever, man. Like seriously. But look for the little cool bits hidden away. And just ignore most of it because it's all Roman programming. That's what I say.
So the stories of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph were likely preserved through oral tradition from around 2000 BC. The Genesis to Deuteronomy was written 1000 to 600 BCE. Job was possibly written in a time frame that could overlap into 2000 to 1500 BC.
I'm in a few days.
But it may have been written down later.
She's wondering why he was fixated on death.
It's still pretty old.
Yeah.
I've got the answer.
So, but its first answer was similar to what you said, that they were saying likely the earliest written books during the patriarchal period, about 2000 to 1800 BC. And so that's like almost 1,000 years before they wrote down Genesis. And
Because Genesis has got so much stuff taken out of it, dude. So much. Like the Book of Enoch, like origin, the Genesis bit, the Book of Enoch is so fucking cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's completely understandable that it's not in the Old Testament because it's totally fucked up, man. And they really paint God to be a bad guy. So, you can understand why they chopped loads of bits out. I mean, Lilith isn't in it. You haven't got that's in the Jewish one. That's all removed. Like it's super edited. So, my opinion. Why?
All right. Anyways, so let's go back to what we were doing.
Yes, let's.
Solar energies. Okay. Wait, is this the right one? Okay. Where were we? In the I Am discourse of Saint Germain, they seem to have a number of speakers being channeled by Mr. Ballard in the 1930s. In some of the discourses, they speak of octaves and even of a Venus blessing the earth. My first thought was that Ra might have been associated with this work. However, a lot of what I and other speakers read and practice has the theme of all is one. Are we forming a third density social memory complex over the last 100 years or so? Can you speak at the level of our awareness?
Can I? Silly. I just want one. I just want this.
I am cool. Or Fred, did you want to read it?
It's just tobacco, yeah.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I am Quo, and I'm aware of the query, my sister. Within the types of information referenced within this query, you can see several sources and types of influences, including those that may seem to be other than you as a social memory complex, but also those which can be called, as you have referenced, your own social memory complex. For within this springing forth of this information there was a calling out similar to what we referenced in our prelude with this instrument. And such a calling invites many, many sources of aid, and those from many places in the creation who wish to offer their light and their love, including those who have evolved upon your planet and have taken home within their inner planes of your planet and have chosen to work with you as a planetary population. And in doing so, as those involved with this group set out to call, indeed, we're able to form connections and aid that group in tapping into what you might see as the unrealized social memory complex and help to bring some form of coherence to that social memory complex. The act of calling and receiving and bringing forth this information to share with those incarnate upon your planetary sphere indeed does help to orient the spirit of your population in a way that makes it more able to receive messages of unity, harmony, love, and healing. Indeed, in many ways, the service offered by those who brought forth this information and offered this information were planting seeds and creating configurations within your planetary mind that helped to lay the groundwork for other groups, such as those who were able to make contact with those of Ra and bring forth even more refined and poignant ways of sharing this ever true and ever present reality of the law of one, of unity, and of the love and the light of the one infinite creator. As those of Ra stated in their contact, the information that they came to offer was simply a different slant upon information that is always and ever the same. And you may see the truth of this statement within the presence of that material referenced within your query. In those materials brought forth at a much earlier date, as you would say, and even further back within your past, you may find the seeds of this truth, of unity, of oneness with all of creation, present in most efforts of spiritual seeking. It is the same message that we wish to offer you here within this circle and in every circle in which we join you. It is only ever the love and the light of the one infinite creator in new configurations and novel expressions. Nothing that we offer can truly be new, for it is all an aspect of the same one infinite creation. Is there a follow-up to this query, my sister?
Thanks, Fred.
Wow.
You like
Love
it?
that voice spread, dude. You seriously should have been a priest, dude. That was really cool reading.
Oh,
He
thank you.
kind of was for a while.
Yeah.
What was it? What?
I kind of felt like I was actually like, I don't know, listening to a Bible reading. It was cool.
Oh.
Certain style to it, man. Like, you know, I think that, you know, is a very specific thing. It's kind of you give it some kind of grandeur and the pause. It's really lovely. I loved it.
Affluent.
Okay, so I really love the Saint Germain channelings. Listen to loads of them, and I've always said that they say exactly the same thing as Ra. Yeah, they every single channeling, doesn't matter who it is, they all say the same thing. And they go back way earlier than the Saint Germain stuff in 1930. I mean, I put up that book from 1890 or something the other week. The clothed in the sun. You see that?
Oh, I haven't read that.
No, I put it up in the group chat the other week though.
No, I haven't read it yet, though.
Oh no, I'm not expecting you to. It's really dense, but it is full on Laura 1, like across the board.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 1870.
Yeah.
So that's like 60 odd years for the Saint Germain channelings. So like this idea that channeling got more and more and more and more and more like prevalent, and kind of the doors opened, and Saint Germain was a big deal, man. Like that was one of the first really huge ones. Do you know what I mean? And it's still going now, man. Saint Germain still channels now all over the place. But the message has never changed. It's always been the same, exactly the same. I like how this is about how they would move to the inner planes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's reread that part. Reread that sentence about the inner planes, because when I was reading through it, I see when you're reading out loud and you're reading a script, you can't like when you're reading at home, you can just stop and reread it 5 times and try to re-understand it at the time.
And such
I
a
do that.
calling invites many, many sources of aid, and those from many places in the creation who wish to offer their light and their love, including those who have evolved upon your planet and have taken home within the inner planes of your planet and have chosen to work with you as a planetary population.
Okay, so the inner planes, right? Now, most of the time, I kind of view that as when they're talking about the astral planes. Yeah, the greater consciousness, yeah, that we all link into. Yeah?
Well, to me, those are very different concepts.
Really?
Yes.
How do you see it?
I
Well-
thought the same thing.
Well, I consider the astral planes to be a subset of the inner planes.
Okay, no, I kind of agree with that.
Um,
Okay.
Because, like, meditation wise, you're still in those inner planes, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
different
the
inner
inner
planes to the
planes-
astral planes.
My understanding is that physically speaking, they are inside the earth. Like so a person dies and then they go towards the light, and so they're going up. And now when they go up into the light, they reach the magnetosphere or the ionosphere. And then they feel themselves being sucked in through a tunnel. And that tunnel is them going along the magnetosphere into the earth. And then they're in the inner planes. And that's where the soul world is. And well, I know there's like the lower astral realms is usually where kind of people like Stephen King hang out. Or
Right
people
about
that
it.
like Stephen King's books hang out.
Well, I
At
mean,
least that's my
I'm
understanding.
not sure I agree with that. I'm not sure. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like that may very well be a thing, but I'm not sure that's kind of what they mean.
Okay, well, let's see what. Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. My brain is in a bit of a fog right now. And such a calling invites many, many sources of aid, and those from many places in the creation. Okay, from within the bringing forth of this information, there was a calling out similar to that which we referenced in the prelude to the instrument. Okay. And such a calling
So
invites many
the point is,
Okay.
what I was
So it's
trying to
inviting
say,
everybody to answer,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
including from the inner
what I was
planes.
going to say was, if he talks about the inner planes, yeah, Saint Germain is very, very big on the kind of angelic side of things. Yeah, he's ascended master.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got out of the loop. He's not reincarnating no more. He's stayed
Okay.
in the inner planes to guide us.
Yes.
The same as that the Buddhist monk guy,
Yes. Yes.
the Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but Aaron doesn't describe it as being in the ground. He describes it as like the inner planes are like inside us.
Yes. This is also true.
But that's the point. It's not in the ground.
It's just that
Anyway, the point
the
is those inner
Confederation
planes, yeah, he talks about as being where Saint Germain's from. Right now, if the inner planes, yeah, is where Saint Germain's from, and Saint Germain is from the angelic brotherhood of the White Brotherhood, right? Then does that mean that the angels live in inner planes?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, the angels live in the earth.
That's right. So basically, the Confederation makes it very clear that you connect to the inner planes through your root chakra, whereas you connect to the outer planes through your crown chakra.
And the astral planes through your heart chakra. Okay, that makes sense.
No. The astral planes are a subset of the inner planes.
Every time I've jumped out, that's how I did it.
Okay, well, maybe, but yeah, that might be how you jump out of your body. But basically, yes. So you're always going within to access either the outer planes or the inner planes. But it's just their locus is different because the inner planes are associated with this planet and the outer planes are associated with extraterrestrial entities or star beings, star brothers.
Okay, but I've read lots of channelings that say that angels are everywhere. Every planet has angels.
Yes, because angels are just ascended masters.
But they live inside each planet.
Yes, Yes, that's kind of like where people go after they die. They go to most ancient people said they go to Hades, where it goes to the underworld. They called it the underworld. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
so that's
most of
the inner
others
planes.
also say that you have like paradise above. That's where Asgard is. That's where heaven is.
Yeah, it's just
So what? If you're going to loop down, what the fuck?
it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But you see,
But I'm saying,
it is
is
both.
that what it is, or
Because
is it something else? Because I
look,
see it's a bit different.
if you look at the near-death experiences, this
Yeah.
is how it happens. They
Okay.
die, they
Yeah.
go up. They go up. Okay, they hit the ionosphere, and then they feel themselves sucked in through a tunnel.
Right.
And what do we know about the ionosphere? It's part of the magnetosphere. And where does the magnetosphere go? If it's a tunnel, where does that tunnel lead?
It's a tourist field, surely. It's dragging
Yes,
back into the
but-
Earth's core. I agree.
Exactly.
But there's lots and lots of channels that say that, you leave here. You go to other planets. You do other things.
You
with your life.
can if you teleport over. But that's after you get to the soul world. So you get to the soul world, it looks like very similar to what we consider like it's a it has its own inner organization. It's kind of like
Can
a
I
beehive.
say, right? I think next week we should do Robo-Ra and like the info, whatever, and have everything about the inner planes and try and work this out.
Because I mean, some of this is in soul speak, right?
What is?
Like not soul speak, sorry. Michael Newton went in real big depth on this.
Yeah, but Dolores Cannon's like got loads and
Dolores
loads
Cannon
and loads,
too.
and that she doesn't
Like
talk
that's
about
that's
that.
where I got the lower astral stuff. But yeah, I could try to combine a special chat GPT that contains the Dolores Cannon, the Michael Newton, and the inner planes from the Confederation, and roll it into
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Why can you put in other influences into the chat GPTs? Could we put in like the guy that did the astral projection? What's he called? Whatever institute? Monroe Institute. Could we put in those books?
Well, we just want to have high quality stuff. So I don't know if it's high
What
quality.
Monroe Institute? Dude, the guy is like a world expert in astral projection.
Okay, well you link it. You link it, and then I'll add it.
Come on, I'll find something.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Now make image for it. All right. So where were we? It was talking about role of channeling and spiritual information, evolution, formation of social memory complexes, universal message of unity, planting seeds for future generation, ever-present truth of oneness. All right. So I'm sure some of my followers will be very offended.
Why what?
Because there's like the hexagrams over here.
What's wrong with that?
Well, because it's in the Jewish flag, they're very upset with the Jews.
Come on, dude. Seriously, that is not fair.
All of that symbology
That's not
has
fair at all,
origin.
dude. The hexagram is not just Jew.
It's true.
It's everywhere.
True. Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, the fucking
We're taking it back.
Nordic runes.
We're taking it back.
It's not a swastika.
Yeah, well, I mean, swastika means infinity, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
It's a running
just
person.
following the Great Bear around the sky, man. It's just it's 4 different. It's a basket of seasons, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
All right.
Big Dipper at the solstices.
Anyhow, yes. So, well, if I could ask another Kuo, to what extent does the catalyst I encounter and the spiritual speed bumps I run into, to what extent does this come from outside of me? I realize that sometimes I make bad choices and I might have unfortunate habits that cause me problems. But I'm really wondering, to what extent is it my shadow self causing these challenges, or is it beings that are taking advantage of the chinks in my armor, for instance?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Succubus.
Red, will you read it?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We are quo, and we are aware of the query, my brother. We find this an interesting and particularly useful query to reflect upon. For in
Yeah.
groups such as this that partake in spiritual endeavors that garner a sort of change of polarity, there is a dynamic that presents itself to those seekers in which the inner distortions in the inner life of those seekers can become amplified and projected in an even greater way than those who remain within the sinkhole of indifference and do not take upon themselves the responsibility and the honor of taking part in the spiritual work and acts of service such as this, and those that you have chosen to take upon yourself in your own journey. You can see this amplification as an increase in the light that can flow through you as a mind, body, spirit complex. For you are calling upon yourself more light to be brought forth into the space-time reality in which you have incarnated. And in doing so, the distortions and unseen aspects of the self within you become more pronounced in how they are expressed as this light moves through you and into your reality. And so we can say, in a primary response, that in a very real way, most, if not all, of those aspects or speed bumps or catalysts that you encounter are generated by you as a mind body spirit complex, and that your unconscious and unseen distortions and wounds and aspects of yourself that remain hidden from your view. However, this dynamic does not have another layer that becomes even more relevant. Does have another layer that becomes even more relevant when a seeker, such as yourself, chooses to partake in magical acts of service. And that the calling does indeed invite presences and intelligences that can recognize and utilize and feed off of and amplify those same distortions that have already been amplified by your projection of light outward. And in doing so, can create a more difficult situation for you as a seeker to grapple with. There are many reasons and motivations for the various types of entities to do so. But the primary way that this would manifest to you as a seeker is that these difficulties that you identify as catalysts are more difficult for you to grapple with, seem to throw you off balance in an even greater way, seem to turn your attention more away from a more hopeful future or a hopeful outlook for yourself towards a more restricted and hopeless outlook. This is a primary attempt to cause you to cease your seeking efforts to return to the comfort of indifference. In many cases, we find this effort can be successful or even cause even greater distortion for the seeker if such offerings are not brought into the heart and understood in a light of acceptance and love, and shared with the friends and the family and the fellows who have joined you upon this journey. In bringing these difficulties to light and expressing them and sharing them in an atmosphere and a mindset of love and acceptance, you offer the love and the light of the Creator to this catalyst so that it might be transformed and bring you into a greater awareness of what it is that has generated this catalyst within you. And so this brings us to the ultimate source of the catalyst, whether or not it is amplified by an external entity of your own internal workings or your own internal workings. Whatever the source, the ultimate resolution is to offer love and acceptance to bring the light of the Creator to the catalyst and to work with it and not attempt to shove it away or ignore it or set it aside, but instead seek within it those gifts of self-awareness and self-love, that which is attempting to offer you to you, so that once it is transformed, it may no longer be a roadblock or a difficulty for you, but instead become a boon for you upon your journey of seeking. Is there a follow-up to this query, my brother?
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Thank you.
That was really awesome.
That was cool.
Great. Great. Glad you guys liked it so much.
Yeah, that was a good one. Because that kind of gave you the whole, like, you know, you create your own reality, but it also gave you the whole how space pirates work thing. Yeah, the succubuses. Yeah, like fucking your life up. Fucking, you know, they will just amplify your catalyst to the point where it fucks you up, makes you give up. You know, that was a cool answer. I like that. So
Yeah.
you got to do more protection if you're doing magical shit.
So yeah, but generally the issues come from your higher self. Is that
Yeah.
my understanding? Right? Yeah. And so most of it is for your spiritual progress and is set up by you, for you.
So you were right all along, Ed. My higher self is an asshole.
Told you, dude. I told you. They would not be changing anything, yeah, unless they'd fuck something up. That's what my higher self told me, man. It was like literally, they just lying to everybody. Oh yeah, I'm your higher self. I'm so pretty, shiny light. Please, please save me, because I fucked everything up, man.
Oh my gosh! Wait, what? I'm confused about your statements there, Ed.
Okay, so when I met my higher self, yeah,
Uh-huh.
over through this whole meditation, I was expecting some angelic being, all shiny light. Ah, yay! I got there, it was like a big puddle of disgusting black sludge. It looked like it was just gonna try to engulf and eat me. It was just, I was like, what the fuck? So I just beamed low love at it, just like Ra says, just like they just said just then. Love acceptance. I was like, okay, I love you. Don't care. Eat me if you want to. I love you. Walked in with my little ball of love around me, kept beaming love straight in. It was like it kind of engulfed me. And eventually it kind of soaked up enough that it kind of morphed into something I could talk to. And then it basically said, yeah, look, the whole higher self thing, you know, we wouldn't be asking or going back to tell people that are alive to change things. If you've already jumped up, you've already gone over, you don't need to change anything. So you don't speak to somebody. You speak to somebody, you can change things and fuck it up so you're not in. So the only ones that are ever there are the ones that are just at the line below, really needing the help to get over that line. And he says that basically everyone acts like they're all like angelic, just so people are like, yeah, okay, I'll take that. But he didn't have to lie to me, so it's perfect. The same.
Okay. All right. That was an interesting experience you had.
Well, the point is, he was begging me to help change the polarity. He was saying, look, all the other people on your path that you're trying to do the scientific route, yeah, have gone mad with power and fucked it up for me over and over again. So I made it so you couldn't do that. Yeah, you're dyslexic as fuck. You can't do all this academic shit. You're going to find it really, really difficult. You're going to be my pure love fucking bomb.
Nice.
Basically.
Yeah.
Then I found out I was a Nazi.
Each one of these has, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like a little heart right here.
Where?
That's the center of the tree.
Well, you did? Move it over a bit. I can't see it.
Well, it's hard for me. I don't know.
A bit more over. Other way.
Can you see it?
Do
you see how there's like a little spot there?
Go that way. I can't see it, dude. Oh, there. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. I love that. That's awesome, man. See the actual spirals. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, and then this is where the heart is.
Yeah, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah, and this one has it too.
Oh, that's lovely, man. I well like that idea.
Yeah, and then on this side, it's got all the verses for discipleship.
Wow, that's cool, dude.
Yeah, to remind you to forgive, so you will be forgiven, and ask and you shall receive, and like testing the spirits, and then like over here it says, here, John 13:34, Jesus say, "You are my disciples if you have love."
There you go. See, All about love.
That's right. All right. So, are we ready for the next one? Yeah.
Go
I think
for
we've
it.
got time for one more. We greet you in love and light of the one infinite creator. We are those known to use the principle of Kuo, and we visit each in this room. Okay, if there's a query. This is not so much a query, but a request. And of all the Kuo entities could go, our loved one Trisha, just send her guiding love in helping her to see the beauty of her body, even as she struggles with it. I think everyone in this group would appreciate anything that you could do, Kuo, to help Trish. We are those of. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Fred.
Oh. We are those of Quo, and our hearts flutter with this genuine compassion. Given voice from you, our sister, in service to our mutual friend, the one known as the Trisha. Indeed, if we could help her as we would help so many to lift up the vision from that which does not see, to behold the true self as a being of infinite light, as a being even upon the incarnational level who is designed to be imperfect, designed to be to experience difficulty by the self's own hand, that the self may learn more of the self and the creator and have more opportunity to serve. That would bring us the greatest joy to be able to facilitate this awakening within the heart of each. But self-realization is the work of each, and we would be glad to take up your request and beam the love and the light of the one as we know it to that fair angelic entity who carries much hardship in her heart, and as this instrument knows, separates herself from joy not infrequently. We thank you, our sister. Is there a query to which we may respond?
Okay. I have a question to sort of follow up on that one. Could you give us any guidance on how to more thoroughly and readily embrace the joy and bliss that is all around us in each moment?
We are those of Quo, and we would be glad to speak on this subject as, from our perspective, it is a funny one. As the entity whose true core nature is one of joy, ask us how they may embrace and experience and touch into this joy. The entity asking the question is the point to be investigated. Who is it to that is doing this asking? Who is it that says joy is not present in this moment? Who is it that has arrived at this moment and found the moment not to its liking? Found cause for dissatisfaction with the self, or with circumstance, or with other self? Who has found resistance within themselves through the free flow of being themselves? Of being, as you were describing earlier, our sister, big, of letting the energy expand and dance and intermingle in free and blessed movement that is more organic, shall we say, representation of the movement and the beingness of life. So the inevitable, natural, and indeed intended confusion of your plane, each has found small dreams and sub-dreams to attach to identify with, to cause oneself trouble with. Each has done this for the most part unknowingly. Thus, one finds oneself upon the third density plane struggling with this thing or that, hemmed in, unable to see beyond such a closed and consuming box of awareness. We may say that, for all intents and purposes, such modality of beingness, of smallness, becomes default, becomes reality, becomes who I, the seeker, am. That these confined and cramped quarters within generate the suffering, this is pervasive in the world. many not understanding the true origin of this suffering which arises within the self, who then seek to solve that suffering through means that will never truly relieve and dissipate the experience. For that suffering is the call of the self, waiting for the conscious mind to exercise those gears of acceptance and forgiveness of self that will unlock and awaken and give room for the inner being to expand, to sing, to be who the self was and had been and forever is all along. That self which was hidden from view due to the structure of the costume, whose threads are made with various beliefs and experiences, injuries, and misapprehensions, with which the incarnate itself has identified. Joy is not a state to be manufactured. That is, it is not a recipe which results with just the right amount of the tweaking of your illusion, the gaining of enough money, the landing of the right job, the perfect amount of the vacation. We do not mean to denigrate those needs of the mind and body. It is rather that joy is intrinsic to reality itself. No particular circumstance creates it. It transcends the limitations of circumstance and may be present in the deepest outer darkness, for it is not of space and time. It is simple. It is humble. It is waiting to embrace each in gratitude for the journeys that you walk. That is the birthright of all beings within the universe. Indeed, for one who has stopped blocking. The joy one finds that it lives within the rocks, within the trees, within the movement of the waves, in the shimmering of the light upon the sea. In entering into that vibrational state, which may be described as joy, one sees the world, sings and prays in thanksgiving to the One, not seeking to abolish the experiences of being the tree, or the bee, or the sea, but grateful for this particular and unique manifestation among a universe of particular and unique manifestations. It is the joy of existence, the joy of being alive and aware, the joy of having an experience, even an including difficult experience. It is not that which is earned, it is that which is accepted. Maybe we ask if there is another follow-up to this query.
Were those cool?
Wow.
Wow, that was a good one.
That was
That
long.
was an actual good one.
There was
good.
one part in there that I did not get.
Okay.
Crap. And I read through it and I can't exactly point out to. There was one thing they said. It was a last sentence to a paragraph too. Closer towards the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, I'll get to it. Close towards the middle. Okay. Injuries, misapprehensions, beings within the universe, unique manifestations. Never truly
Can you make it larger?
Larger, yeah, sure. Okay, I'll scroll through it slowly, and then you tell me if you see it.
Okay. While you're doing that, can I just chuck in my bit?
Yeah.
Keep going that bit, and I'll just talk. Okay, so this whole bit really reminds me loads of that whole Buddhist ideology where you get the opposite of pain. The opposite of suffering, yeah, is joy. But most people take pleasure, yeah, and pleasure is
Stop
fleeting.
right there, Andre.
Okay.
Right
So
there.
pleasure is fleeting, right? Pleasure
Okay.
is very, very quick. So you don't need to earn it. You don't need to do anything. It's just quick, yeah. But then joy is something you build. It's something you work towards, and once you have it, it lasts forever. So the difference is pleasure is what most people live on. They just pleasure. But that the key is constant work, constant topping up. I need more pleasure. Yeah. Whereas, you
That's
have
the
to
service
work
to self
to
path.
achieve joy. Yeah. You have to go through the suffering. You have to go through the acceptance. You have to go through the shadow work. You have to do all the things so that you don't need the pleasure no more. Right? And then you get joy. Right? And you have joy forever. You don't need to top it up. You don't need to change nothing. You don't need to do anything. And it will get you through suffering far better than anything that might be pleasurable.
It's like dopamine versus serotonin.
Yeah, totally, man.
All right. So
cocaine
Fred
versus mushrooms. Yes.
Which versus mushrooms? Cocaine.
Dopamine.
Dopamine. Yeah, you're right. Okay, Fred.
That last part where he's saying that is the birthright of all beings within the universe, indeed for one who has stopped blocking. Are they talking about blocking your energy centers?
Yeah.
Okay. Now there's a couple paragraphs above this. Hold on.
These are the couple that are above it.
I can't remember now. Crap. I'll remember tomorrow.
There's my favorite quote. Hold on, I'm gonna get it. It was here. It is. Oh, here, I'll make it bigger for you guys. It is no wonder that so many of your peoples find time to move faster and faster, nor is it a wonder that most entities are completely unaware of why this occurs. This is very understandable due to the fact that if one does not process catalyst in the present moment, it will be carried over into the next discrete unit of time-space. If then the catalyst of the second discrete unit of time-space is also unused, the next unit of time-space is increasingly burdened with unprocessed catalyst, and by the time one is counting one's years with dismay rather than pride, most of your peoples have such a load of old, unprocessed catalyst that to open oneself to the catalyst in the present moment is almost unthinkable, and it certainly takes a great deal of courage to begin to open to all the catalyst, old and new, which forms the catalyst of this discrete time-space unit of your incarnation. There are very few, but it is notable enough that we mention this, who are so efficient in processing catalyst in the present moment that the space begins to buckle inward under the burden of successfully approached and used catalyst. In that case, the entity who seeks will find itself in the creation in a true sense for the first time. For when time begins its full operation, there is the possibility of the spacelessness or the unity of all space. In this distortion lies a compassion which cannot be approached except by those few among your peoples who have used catalyst with a fervor, an enthusiasm, and a conscious knowledge of the probity of such an exercises. You know, that really speaks to my heart right there, you know? Like, there's so many times I feel like that's where I'm at. like space is folding in and around me. And like all creation and like what's happening in the world, but who knows? But yeah, I think that's what they mean by unblocked here. The birthright of all beings within the universe who have stopped blocking. Stop blocking the processing of catalysts. You know?
She likes Batman.
Yeah. All right. So I guess this is our last query for the night. Did you guys want to discuss this last one some more about the true nature of joy? Here.
Yeah, I think that like what I was saying before about the Buddha thing. Like I think that's it's pretty close. It's weird because I've never heard any other kind of spiritual teaching say that.
Which
the whole kind of definition between the suffering that we go through in day-to-day life and how you deal with it, and how joy is the way out. Joy is the key to escaping all the cycle, the pleasure, the pleasure, keep all the fast, blah 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 blah. Acceptance, love of self means you don't need it. And that's the joy. That's in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, joy is a birthright that waits for us to embrace it.
100%.
I like how at the very beginning, they explained how it was humorous to them that a being of joy was asking them how to enable joy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like a guy asking, "How am I supposed to be a guy?" You know.
Yeah. But there's lots of guys that don't know.
Yeah, I was going to
Right.
say, dude.
Yeah.
I'd argue
It
that
is.
most don't.
Well, and it's the same thing there. That's why it's so humorous. It's a paradox
Mm-hmm.
because of the
That's what
veil.
they're here to do, right?
Yeah.
Collapsal paradoxes, like Ross said.
Yeah.
For the suffering is the call of the self waiting for the conscious mind to exercise those gears of acceptance and forgiveness of self that will unlock and awaken and give room for the inner being to expand, to sing, and to be who the self was and has been and forever is all along. By recognizing and addressing these inner blocks, we can open ourselves to joy. So, the suffering often arises from confinement of our awareness within limiting beliefs and identifications. So when you don't limit yourself to I, and you embrace the I am that I am, then you have a much greater propensity for joy.
Yeah, I agree.
Reconnecting with the joy of being. To experience the joy, Kuo advises that we stop blocking our true nature by simply accept the joy that is inherent in existence. It is the joy of existence, the joy of being alive and aware, the joy of having an experience, even and including difficult experience. It is not that which is earned, it is that which is accepted. Joy is found in the gratitude of being, in every manifestation of life around us. The role of acceptance and forgiveness. The pathway to experiencing joy involves self-acceptance and forgiveness. Kuo encourages seekers to explore who they truly are beyond the surface level identifications and embrace their full being. That's what Ed was talking about. This joy, one finds that it lives within the rocks, within the trees, within the movement of the waves, and the shimmering of the light upon the sea. Joy is present when we allow ourselves to fully be and appreciate the simple beauty of existence.
Totally, man.
Identifying with all of that.
I like that.
And embracing joy in all circumstances. Kuo emphasizes that joy is not dependent on external circumstances. It is always accessible, even in difficult moments. It is simple, it is humble, it is waiting to embrace each in gratitude for the journeys that you walk. By embracing joy in every situation, we align ourselves with the true nature of reality and our own being.
I agree. Totally, man. Robot Rod really does chop it into the best bits, doesn't it?
Hey guys, check out this sunset. Can you see it?
Here, hold on. Let me. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Is that a
wow,
star
dude.
or a moon?
That's the moon.
That's the moon. Okay.
Oh, where do you live, dude?
Ohio.
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
Berlin.
How big's your how big's your farm?
That's beautiful, isn't it?
My family and I, we have together. It's a little over 100 acres right here.
Wow.
Fucking 100 acres, dude. What?
What's he have? Does he have any animals, or is it
Yeah, have you got any like livestock in there, or is it just like land?
Mostly just land. My son's the one that's got goats. He's the only one
You
who has
don't grow
live.
anything.
Now
You haven't got any like crops or.
My brother and my nephew, they're the ones that have beef cows.
Okay, so it's like a cattle ranch kind of thing.
All of my property is used for hay. All of my tillable is hay for cows.
Wow, so you're like from like a cowboy family.
Well, I mean, I grew up. It was a dairy farm, and every dairy farm has beef cows because you can't predict the gender of the baby. So when you got to keep the cow pregnant every so often, so they keep producing milk, and the boy cows get raised as beef cows, and the girl cows get raised as dairy cows. So it's always been a cow farm here, since I've been alive.
Then you need to get a better hat.
Hey guys, so
cowboy hat, probably like cowboy. You need a cowboy hat, dude.
So I wanted to finish this because this is just like so precious. So precious here. So joy is not dependent on external circumstance. It's even in the most difficult. It is simple. It is humble. It is waiting to embrace each in gratitude for the journeys that you walk. By embracing joy in every situation, we align ourselves with the true nature of reality and our own being. Quotes for reflection. Joy is intrinsic to reality itself. No particular circumstance creates it. It transcends the limitations of circumstance and may be present in the deepest outer darkness, for it is not of space and time. For that suffering is the call of the self, waiting for the conscious mind to exercise those gears of acceptance and forgiveness of self that will unlock and awaken and give room for the inner being to expand, to sing, and be the who the self was and has been and forever is all along. The joy of existence, the joy of being alive and aware, the joy of having an experience, even and including difficult experience, it is not that which is earned, it is that which is accepted. All right. And it's a similar sunset to what
Wow,
Trevor
dude.
showed.
Robo makes really pretty pictures, dude.
Thanks. All right, guys. So any last words before we end the live stream?
I'm
I
good.
love you all, everybody. You're all
Okay.
amazing.
Love you all. Leave you
Love you
as
guys.
I found you, I leave you in the love and light of the one infinite creator. Go forth therefore rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one infinite creator. Adonai Vasu Borragus, the divine within you. All right. And